Welcome to the Bill Knight Ford Cascia Commando football show with head coach Joe Medina. Coach Medina, when you take a look at what happened Friday night at $100 Stadium in Jinx, losing 54-20 to Wagoner, but still a tremendous game and a tremendous year for the Commandos.
It was a very disappointing loss. I mean, no questions about it. I mean, they played really well, didn't make any mistakes, and we didn't match their high level of play at all that night. You know, we had some bright moments, but just weren't able to score enough points, and most importantly, able to stop them. But as you said, it's not going to diminish from the year. It stings a little bit right now, but each day it'll get a little bit better, and we'll find out that it was overall a great year.
Well, I think you always have to look at one thing. You were in the Final Four, and 3 of the Final Four was from your district, so that was a good year for all.
Yeah, there's no question who had the best district in the state in 4A. You know, 3 out of the 4 teams, as you mentioned, were in the state semifinals, and 2 of the number 1 and number 2 team from our district are playing for the finals for the 2nd year in a row. So it's pretty good company that we played in all throughout the district.
Well, from a football fan standpoint, I don't think you could find any better.
Nope.
Okay, let's roll into action here. Pick up a Wagoner and Cascia semifinals of the state Class 4A.
Well, an interesting night with the weather, all the rain. Here we go. Try to run the ball up the middle out of a one-back formation. Try to get them spread out. Get very little gain. Here's a fumbled snap, but Grant Ward alertly picks it up, and he's going to rumble down here. And I thought he had the first down, but they marked us short, and then this is our 4th and 2 play. Went for it. I wish Brett would have cut it up there. I thought he had a little bit of daylight. So we took a chance. We came to play to win, and I thought it was real important there to try to establish a tone. And here comes Wagoner. This is kind of the theme of the night for them. They're just going to use their size and their muscle and get us to go backwards. Good run there. You know, here they go opposite the unbalanced line. You know, they caught us in our shift and get the early score, 7-0. Come back here, run Grant again. We miss a block and get a very short gain. James Rouse back to pass is going to get some pressure here, get flushed out of the pocket, throw the ball out here, and we don't get anything, so we have to punt the football to them. Again, running a little bit of an unbalanced line here. Quarterback who I think is one of the best players in the state, no matter what class, Malcolm Rodriguez there. And he's a junior. He comes back again next year. And then this young man here, Nakia Jones, is a sophomore. They try to get him on the end around, and we do a pretty good job there hemming him in. Really call on the defense here to make a big stop. Again, down 7 points, and there's our big stop right there. So we got them in a good situation, but they go ahead and pick up the first down. And again, kids are playing hard, especially down here at the goal line. We were really good in the red area this year, which I was very pleased on, something we need to build upon next year. And then here you can just see the big fullback knock down our defensive back for their 2nd score. Little urgency here, so we come out and we throw the ball here. Nice throw and catch, Sokolowski from Rouse for the first down. Give the ball here to Brett Boone over the right side, pick up of 8. Again, we move the football really well. Again, short yardage situation, try to run our base play, and it doesn't work. And so now we're going to punt the ball here and not give them another opportunity. Dalton Abney with a nice kick here, and I believe this is Connor Barrett with a nice tackle there at the 31-yard line. So still 14-0 here, and then they, on the very first play, they come off with a great play-action pass. Free safety gets caught coming up, and then right away they score, extend it to 21-0. So again, just a little bit a shock here, but we're just going to stay with the game plan, run the ball here, and then pressure here. It doesn't allow us to get the ball off, had a protection breakdown. Fortunately, we got a penalty, and so we're going to take advantage of it. Grant Ward with some hard running there. Give the ball back out to Grant on the same play out of the one-back set, getting about 7 yards there. Move into the 2nd quarter here, run the counter sweep. Grant over the left side for a key first down there. Back to pass goes James Rouse, hits a nice pass out here to Davis Lambert inside of the 35. And here comes a nice touchdown pass, a play we just put in this week. Little scissors route there, and Jackson McCormick gets his first touchdown. And Tyler Wedding adds the extra point. So 21-7, I think we're in pretty good shape here. Then probably the biggest tactical mistake, we try to use the wind, kick this into the end zone. We kick it to Jones, and you can see what a great player he is. Stiff arming about 2 people there. Going to stiff arm the 3rd one here. and then put the jets on and cruise in there. And that one really kind of broke our spirit, I thought. We closed it from 21 to nothing, and now it's 28-7. And so again, spirits are down, but the only thing you can do is just keep playing and see if you can answer that score. Grant Ward with a nice kickoff return. Grant again here with a nice run, and Grant played really tough, really came on for us. At the end of the year, you can see the tough running there, the desire that young man had. It'll be good to have him coming back next year. Brett Boone, again, another junior coming back next year, picks up a first down. Try to throw the little hitch route here, and Chandler Sokolowski, a senior, will miss greatly next year, playing on both sides of the ball, miss his leadership as well. This is a fourth down play that we don't convert. I thought we had a good play there, and unfortunately we couldn't execute. Nice hit there by Jackson McCormick after a long run by the quarterback. Here it comes again. This time Cater Colmia and Jake Hall make a nice tackle. Again, just trying to keep the score down here to see if we can get a turnover, hand the ball off to the big fullback. He rumbles for about 20. Nice tackle there by Dalton Turner to save the touchdown. And here is the touchdown, just run a little outside play. Commando's back on offense here, trying to get a score before half. Again, Grant Ward with a nice play there, picking up some good yards. Run the bootleg pass here, had a chance for a big play, just throw the ball right behind the tight end. Come back here, try to throw the hitch route for the first down, and unfortunately gets tipped and picked off. And now Wagner's got about 2 minutes to see if they can get another score. Hand the ball here off to number 27, and the defense responds. And again, Wagner here just grinding the ball out. And they kept their game plan simple, using their size and their muscle against us for some good yardage there. Rodriguez again here on the quarterback draw. Even their quarterback's a pretty strong kid. Breaks some nice tackles. Very good wrestler too, I understand. And then here we've got everybody covered. And you can see Rodriguez scrambling around. And he's going to get all the way down inside of the 15-yard line. Picks up some good blocks inside the 5. And then here they are. I thought he was down, but they're going to run the quarterback sneak for the final touchdown of the half.
And they score at the half, 41-7. Stay with us. We're back with Coach Medina in the second half right after this.
Welcome to Understood.org, a free online resource for parents of kids with learning and attention issues, with personalized recommendations, tools, and expert advice.
Welcome back to the Cascia Commando football show with head coach Joe Medina, and coach at the half trailing 41-7, but still the kids were coming out ready to play.
They were, again, we got a little shell shock there after the kickoff return, but as all my teams do, they play hard, they battle through adversity, and we fought back a little bit in the second half, but again, Wagner just had a little bit too much for us that night.
Well, let's roll into second half action here, and Coach Medina, you pick up the play.
Well, the big thing I told the kids was let's look for little victories. Let's see if we can get a stop here, and sure enough, we do. Great penetration by the defensive line there. Force them to throw here, and a great tip ball there by Miles Waller. And we force them to punt the ball to us, which was a good sign. Now the offense just needs to capitalize. You can see a big hit there by their linebacker. I believe he's a junior too, coming back. James coming out here. We get called an audible at the line. The wide receiver didn't pick it up, and he missed the route. So again, defense in a bind after the short punt. And we hold them again. So here we got opportunities. Throw the little hitch route to Grant Summers right there, a senior that had a great year for us. This is a third down play. We miss our protection there, and are forced to punt the ball again. Wagner fumbles the football right there, but again, this is kind of shows you what kind of night it was. Bounces right back to the quarterback, and he picks up about 25 yards. Nice tackle on the play. Here's, we think we got the quarterback in the back. He just barely hands it off, and the running back gets down to the 10-yard line. Hand the ball off again. Kids playing hard. Defense that, really took a beating in the first half, kind of standing up here. Eventually, though, they will break and score the touchdown there, 48-7 now. Just trying to work on some things here and hand the ball off to Grant, and he's just going to rumble again. Got some good blocking there. Nathan Martin, a senior, Hunter Hedrick, Spencer Elias, good job there. Throw the pass down there. I believe that's Davis Lambert with a nice catch. Right here, I believe that's Tanner Swab with a nice catch. Game goes into the fourth quarter. Throw the screen pass here. Nice block there, Hunter Hedrick. And Grant Ward gets inside of the 30. Fourth down play, have some exchange problems there, and Grant has to just kind of scramble, and we don't pick up the ball there, and so again, or the first down there, so again, we turn over the ball. Wagner's got their second team guys in now, and again, moving the football. They got a great program, a lot of good young kids coming down, run the trap play here. We do a good job with that, getting people around the football. Nice tackle there. Trayson Rayleigh, a senior, will miss, kind of did multiple roles for us, played him at linebacker some, played him at defensive end and defensive tackle. And if I had to pick a disappointing part of the game right here, quarterback, JV quarterback, picks up a touchdown there from about 35 yards out. So again, just playing for some pride here, trying to make the score look a little bit better. And here's Dalton Turner with a great kickoff return. On offense right here, we're going to go right to the ISO pass or lead zone pass here. Beautiful route there by Jackson McCormick and a nice ball by James Rouse. Go for two here, trying to get the ball to senior Jack Morrison. Jack played a great role for us this year. Good leader for us. Wanted to get him on the scoring sheet right there, but unfortunately we don't convert. So again, here kind of Wagner trying to run the clock out, just trying to get the ball outside. Kids still playing hard, just making plays over there on the outside. Last offensive series here, we're going to run senior Jared Mason. Jared, again, another one of those seniors that just did a great job playing their role. Here's Trayson Rayleigh with the big run over the right side, inside of the 30-yard line. Kid I'm going to miss right here is Zach Powell. Zach, outstanding cornerback and a good wide receiver. Used him a lot more at that position in the second part of the season. Jared Mason again over the left side this time. I wish Jared could have found some way to crease it in there and get the score. And then we are going to get the final score here. Chandler Sokolowski very fittingly catching a pass from James Rouse for the touchdown. Tyler Redding adds the last point for the year. Again, Tyler did a good job for us. We really missed him when he was hurt. So we got to find a kicker for us next year. Nice tackle in there by Hunter Hedrick. Here we go, hand the ball off again. Cater Colmia, Anton Urin, who's going to play a big role for us with a nice stop there as the game finally comes to an end.
One thing that always passes through my mind when you're watching Wagner and Cascia Hall. The last time Wagner lost a ball game was last year to Cascia Hall, 21-17. This year, the closest game they had was with Cascia Hall. They beat you 14-7, so they did come fired up.
They did. They came ready to play, and not only do they have great talent on that team, Coach Dale Connick does a great job with his staff to prepare those players, and they didn't make any mistakes. They didn't give us any opportunity to get back in the game, and that's why they've won 21 straight. That's why they're defending state champions, and probably a good bet to win it again on Friday.
Well, that's something when you look. No fumbles. There was not a fumble lost by either team on Friday night. Yeah,
there wasn't, and given those conditions, that speaks volumes for, the amount of attention that the kids gave to the football. I wish we would have not thrown that interception. Again, we were moving the ball again. So that's just the way that the game shook out, and we just got to take our lumps and live with it for the whole offseason.
Well, having gone through so many athletic events myself, that had that worked on the very first possession that you had, there's no telling what kind of a game it would have been the rest of the night.
Yeah, again, I made the call. I thought, it was a very makeable first down. Thought we could send a message, but unfortunately Wagner rallied and made a good play. So, again, people will look at that as maybe a turning point. I don't think it was. I think the turning point really came with the kickoff return.
I would have to agree with you. Stay with us here on the Cascia Hall Commando Football Show. We'll take a timeout and back with Coach Medina and special guests right after this.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere will bring us wireless emergency alerts. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Welcome back to the Bill Knight Ford Cash Hall Commando football show with head coach Joe Medina. And Coach Medina, at this time, we always have two very special guests. Introduce them and tell us something about them.
Well, we have a junior and a senior. Our senior first down there is Chris Spurl, an outside linebacker tight end for us. Had a great year until he got hurt at the Catoosa game. And right next to me is a newcomer to our program, Cannon Montgomery, who's a junior wide receiver defensive back.
Well, we're glad to have both of you here, and we're going to talk about some of the events that happened on Friday night. And Cannon, we'll start with you here. A very disappointing loss, as you might expect, to Wagoner on Friday night in the Class 4A state semifinals. But give us a player's perspective of how the game was played.
You're exactly right. It was a tough loss. We came out there and we felt like we had a great game plan set in place. And we came out there and just things didn't fall our way. We got behind early, and it's like in a normal drive, you get behind the chains, and it's going to be tough to get back. And so we couldn't recover.
But I thought the effort was great.
Yeah, the effort always is going to be good from the Cascia players. They're just good kids, good hardworking kids.
And Chris, your impression on the same question?
It was a tough loss. We thought we would be a lot more competitive, and really there was no lack of effort, like you said, because you saw back in week 5 when we played them, we lost 14-7, and that was one of the best games we played all year, and it was exciting, and it was a great game to watch and to play in, and it was disappointing. We thought we would keep it a lot closer, but we just got in a hole early and couldn't recover.
Chris, we'll take a look at the fact here that that loss did not diminish the successful season that you had at Cascia Hall. So overall, kind of give us your impression of the 2015 season.
Yeah, the goal of this season was to change so we can become a championship contender again. And I think that's exactly what we did. If you look at the past 2 years, we lost in the first round of playoffs, and that was the goal of this season, was to get past the first round. And we got past the first round and got past the next round, and we're playing in the semifinals. And, you know, if change gets you that far this year, then expand on it next year, and I think we can get back the championship.
And Cannon, what would be your answer to the question?
I think Chris hit it right on the head. I mean, we were not picked to go very far this year, and we made it to the Final Four. And that speaks from great senior leadership, great coaching, great fan support. And we exceeded expectations. And if we do that every year, then we're going to end up with a ring. And leaders like Chris and our other seniors have paved that way again for the freshmen that came along and the sophomores that were there all season, and for my grade. And we know, we're walking back to that locker room, and we feel that fight, we feel that hunger to know we have a taste, let's go get it all next year.
Okay, looking back at the season, give me one of your fondest memories.
The OT win against Holland Hall. That was my first experience with the game. Everybody was telling me how awesome it is and how it's such a rivalry. And for us to go and win it in that fashion, no less, and we have our fans storm their field, and it was just a really cool experience and one I know I'll never forget.
Chris?
The Holland Hall game was pretty awesome too. Because it did go into overtime, and we came back all the way to force it into overtime, and it was an awesome experience. And to go out on my senior year in a game like that was unforgettable.
Well, Chris, the last question here, and we're going to have to do it very quickly there. As a senior, unfortunately, you missed the latter part of the season because of an injury. Tell us how you got the injury and what you missed most about it.
In week 8 against Catoosa on a kickoff, went down, tackled the dude, and got up, and my thumb was broken. So I had to get 3 pins in it, and with pins, I can't be playing. But other than that, I still enjoyed and still had a great chance to be with the team, and didn't feel like I wasn't a part of the team, even though I was hurt throughout the playoffs. And
Cannon, as a junior, new to the program this year, what were your impressions of the program? And give us a preview next season. Have about 30 seconds.
Championship attitude, 2 words that would describe our program perfectly. I came in and talking with Coach Medina, this time last year, and he laid it out for me. He said they were making changes, and he brought excitement, and I wanted a part of that. And I came, and we got it, and we're going to go and finish the deal next year.
And Coach Medina, you agree with what they said?
Yeah, we're going to miss Chris and his leadership. He had a great year, but Cannon now has a full year under our program, and we're going to look to him and the rest of his junior classmates to provide that leadership that Chris and his classmates did this year, and they'll do that.
Well, I wish you the very best of luck. Enjoyed having you here on the program.
Thank you, sir.
Stay with us here on the Cascia Commando Football Show. We're back with Coach Medina right after this.
I want to be able to impact the community, to reach back to where I came from and pull some people up with me. My name is David, and I am your dividend.
Welcome back to the Bill Knight Ford Cascia Commando Football Show with head coach Joe Medina. And Coach Medina, this program wouldn't be possible without the great sponsors we have.
Yeah, in particular, our title sponsor, Bill Knight Ford. I want to thank Bill Knight and Kelly Summers, the general manager out there, for, again, coming up and being the title sponsor for this show. So thank you, guys.
When you take a look at this year, overall, kind of review the year and kind of preview what's going to happen next year.
Well, I think it was a great year. I think you can look at the record, and we were 7-5, maybe even 8-5 if you want to include that quarter that we won against Millwood. But that's not what I'm going to look at. I'm going to look at two things. Number one, the fact that we did make it to the state semifinals, as the kids alluded to, I think shows you how close this program is to taking it to the next level. And I think just as important, the enthusiasm that has returned to Cascia Hall football. If you would have seen it, JV, this week, just the excitement that the parents had, the excitement that the kids and the alumni had, the excitement that we as coaches had. And that's all due to the performance of our young men that don the uniform every single Friday. So again, to make it to the semifinals, but more importantly, to get a shot in the arm again for Cascia Hall football, I think are two huge victories that we scored this year.
Well, I thought you practiced on Thanksgiving morning with all of the supporters and the parents and the way the kids worked. And that wasn't the most pleasant morning in the world either. And yet it was as though it was the 4th of July and the temperature was 90 degrees.
Yeah, it was a big celebration, and we kind of took it for granted because we were there so many years in a row. And again, the weather wasn't great, but that didn't damper the spirits of everybody. And our community came out and supported us as they did all year. And I was just very proud of the fact that, again, everybody jumped on board with this football team and supported them through the good times and the bad times. And that's why we ended up in the state semifinals.
Well, kind of give us a review of the players that's coming back next year and the players that you lose through graduation this year.
Well, I lose a tremendous senior class. Again, as I think Cannon alluded to in the last segment, I asked a lot of this football program. We went through some changes, changed a lot of different things, and we'll continue with those changes as the year goes on. And so the first people that you look to embrace the changes are your seniors, and then they set the tone for the rest of the squad. And they did such a great job. From the very first practice, I remember the enthusiasm being there, and they did what we needed to do and accepted their roles, and the rest of the team followed. So I will miss those guys significantly. Looking at our junior class, there's a lot of talented football players. Grant Ward, who was our leading rusher, 1,000-yard rusher. You have a Jackson McCormick, who was a stalwart in the secondary. You bring two good offensive linemen back. Brett Boone is a phenomenal player. Davis Lambert is a star in the making. So we bring an awful lot back. It's just a matter, can those seniors do what these seniors did and accept that leadership role and keep this program going in the right direction?
Well, as you kind of look across the board in the district, Are other people bringing back what you feel you're bringing back?
Well, Wagoner is bringing pretty much most of their team back again. Oologah is going to lose a few players, but they still are loaded. The bottom line is we just have to worry about ourselves here in the off season and just get bigger, get stronger, and learn to be more physical, because that's what eventually ended up costing us the game on Friday night. We were out physicaled by Wagoner. They were bigger, and they just played a lot tougher. So we can improve on that this off season.
Well, because of the number of enrollment that you have at Cascia Hall, which is not as great as some of the enrollment teams that you play, but most of your kids go to another sport, kind of go through that.
Yeah, we encourage all of our kids to go play another sport. We mentioned Cannon Montgomery. He's going to go to track. He'll take Grant Ward with him there, and that'll improve their speed. Have a lot in basketball and wrestling, and then our spring sports are really popular. We'll have a number going to baseball. In baseball, we'll have a chance to do very well this year. Tennis and golf and soccer are always popular, so we want to keep our kids busy.
We have about a minute. Give us your greatest memory of the 2015 football season.
Gosh, JV, there were so many of them. I would just say that end run when we had to win those last two games, in particular the McLean game, coming back from behind to get the team to the playoffs, and then to see the two playoff wins. Again, credit to our senior class to provide the leadership. So I would have to say that the McLean game was a good memory, as well as the Holland Hall game. That's always a big game, and I'm glad it's the first game of the season. It gets you through the off season and gets your season rolling.
And I think if anyone has never seen the Cascia Hall, Holland Hall game, they ought to make plans next year to go see it, because it is a great game.
Yeah, and they'll be an outstanding football team next year.
Coach, it's been a pleasure this year, and look forward to seeing you next year, and good luck on everything you do.
Well, JV, thank you, and thank you to Aaron, Roger, and Lisa here at the studio for producing this every week, and we'll see you again next year for the 17th straight year of the Commando Football Show.
My goodness, we could tell a lot of stories there. Thanks for being with us today on the Cascia Hall Commando Football Show with head coach Joe Medina, and we'll see you next year.
Movies are one thing, but in the event of a real earthquake, you should drop, cover, and hold on. Visit ready.gov/earthquake, and you'll be seen as a hero by your loved ones.
Visit ready.gov today.
Everywhere that we go, he makes people laugh and makes people smile, and I feel like I have that quality.
He's the one who always takes me fishing.
I watch golf with him. And
I watch him cook, because when I grow up, I want to be a cook too.
We have the same faces like this.
Dad is the one, when you fall, that picks you up.
That unconditional sense of presence and reassurance is really what makes him my father.